Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, again, we have come out to have discussion on what is happening in Nigeria, especially as Nigeria right now, nationwide, not just the blackout, the flights are not flying, the airport is not working, everything is just in disarray in Nigeria as of today. And we see that the Chief Bola Tinubu's international airport in Minna is under lock and key. And Chief Wike's office, that is the FCT minister's office, is also under lock and key. As a matter of fact, some people who came out to work today were actually flogged out of their offices. It's stunning. Those are the things happening in Nigeria, and many more other things that will be coming your way this hour. And again, we want to bring the issue of Aisha's newfound love for the national anthem, the old national anthem, the rights that she has to be protected under the Nigerian constitution, to be respected exactly as everybody calls for the arrest of Aisha Yesufu and all of that. We will talk on that, and we talk about several things that is going wrong in Nigeria. And of course, if there are the ones that are coming in that are right, we'll present it to you, which are obviously the Obidient Family Cooperative Society registrations and engagement of obedience across the local governments in Nigeria. That is something that is happening that is good, that we will also bring to you at this very hour. I'm not the only one to have a discussion on Zoom on this. I have our own in the studio. I have Divine, and I also have Otto Chiboeze.
Well, very warm welcome, and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. It's a very interesting Monday, and so we're going to have this conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Viewers, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We'll bring you the best, always.
Yes, as we move, please, we also have our own people on Zoom. We have our Obidient on Zoom who is to join the conversation on what is happening in Nigeria. We have the likes of the elder statesman Obade from the UK, and we have Lord Kingsley who is also in the UK, and of course we have Kenny Willie who is reporting from Calabar Municipal, and many other obedience that are joining us on Zoom. So let's get this straight off. We know that NLC have shut down the National Assembly in compliance with the indefinite strike declared by the organized labor. And of course, they monitor the situation at the entrance and exit gates. They blocked the coastal buses that came all over there. And also the organized labor had insisted that if this very strike would begin as planned today, which of course they commenced. And they commenced and refusing to take over that very 60,000 as brought in by the Tinubu's administration. Now, those are the things that we will be having a discussion as a startup on. Let me start with you, Divine. As we had previously, we have been discussing all over this the brouhaha going on with labor union and the federal government. Now, right. Looking at the things that are happening now, based on labor is looking at about 400 and something thousand naira, and federal government is looking at 60,000 naira. Let's even start with, is it really feasible that in Nigeria of today, that the federal government or the state government or even private companies can afford to pay 400 and something thousand as a minimum wage?
Well, I wouldn't know about the private companies, to be very honest, but I think the Nigerian government can afford to actually pay workers. That's, to be very fair, because if we take into consideration the amount of money they spend for, very relevant projects, we can see that it's not a situation of if there is money to actually, pay these workers. It's the fact that they just don't prioritize it. So I think it is something that is workable. Probably 494,000 might be a bit on the high side, but to be very honest, if you take into consideration our current economic climate, it is very, very sane that the Nigerian Labour Congress or Nigerian workers in general are asking for this, right? And so I think they can afford it. And even if they are not willing to go under 494,000 naira, they should come to something, reasonable, probably within the ranges of, what the Nigerian Labour Congress are actually offering. So I think they can afford it.
I'm also looking at it from the angle of a news, a report that is coming in that one of the presidential aides, that is one of the staff working for Bola Tinubu, earns about $1 million plus per month.
Yeah, 1 million.
1 point something million naira. And if we also try to juxtapose that with what the senators and House of Rep members take home per month, if we want to look all of that, it means that it's really something they need. And plus, the fact that they spend so much money on, like you said, irrelevant things. And when we talk about irrelevant things, we need to mention some of those things. Like the Hajj 90 billion subsidy.
Right.
And also, do you recall that Chief Bola Tinubu earns like 3 times of what Buhari used to earn? He's now right 8 million plus on his salary per month. It is increased. And most of the judicial workers and the judges, you understand me, all of these senior staffs, their salaries were increased. So why are we having problem in increasing the salaries of an average Nigerian worker?
Well, I mean, if we're even talking about it, we recall that there are still, past governors of certain states in Nigeria that are actually still under different form of salaries and allowances. Some of them ruled like some 4 years back, 5 years back, and their tenure has ended a long time ago. But these are people that are still benefiting from the commonwealth of, Nigerians. Some of them still have vehicle allowances. Some of them have health allowances. And these are people who are not actively in service of the people anymore. So to be very honest, if we take into, juxtaposition all these things, we realize that the Nigerian Labour Congress or Nigerian workers are not particularly asking for something that is out of place or something that is impossible, because they have the money, and we've had people spending for irrelevant reasons. So it is very possible.
Okay, Otto, let me take it from this perspective in my question to you. Let's even look at it from the angle of the NLC. This very nationwide protest most often is not to the benefit of the masses. They will say they are going to a strike to make sure that a right is done for the masses, but at the end of the day, we find out that within 24 hours, maximum 48 hours, they come out of that and they say they have a truce with the federal government. And then 3 months or 6 months later, we find out that nothing has been done. Are you sure that this is not just a goal to shut down Nigeria for their own selfish interests? Or do you really think that they want to get salary increase for workers? Bearing in mind that the way and manner they pass the old national anthem out and put in a new national anthem, as they bring back the old one, within 48 hours, they could still within 48 hours get that amount that is reasonable for the minimum wage, and then pass it through the National Assembly within 48 hours, and Tinubu will sign that. And that can only happen if the NLC, the TUC, and all the labor unions has a purpose to serve the Nigerian workers.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanu. Well, of course, you know that the NLC is a pressure group. Talking about being selfish or not selfish and the rest of it, we can't really say, but we can look at their actions, look at the conversations, the issues on board, and then be able to drive towards a particular conclusion. But let's look at the civil rights lawyer, Falana. In his he released an article, and he gave us statistics of the law that gives the minimum wage, pursuant to the National Minimum Wage Act of 2019, where it was provided that the minimum wage is going to be 30,000 naira, subject to review after 5 years. And of course, since 2019 till now, we've moved beyond 5 years. And then of course, there was a strike action, and then it was reviewed to 48,000 naira. And then Labour Congress is coming back now, and they are asking for more. I would say that it is a possibility, because remember that we are dealing with Nigeria here, and one thing that is has been observed over time is that there's a conversation behind the general conversation. There is always that conversation. So when you're talking about a selfish interest being there, there's a possibility of a selfish interest playing out in these deliberations.
There's a possibility that we wake up tomorrow and then we see that they have called off the strike. Yes. And at that very time, they have not achieved the purpose for which the strike was supposedly being held for.
Yes.
Those are the...
Is a possibility that we cannot dismiss.
And there is also a possibility that they would have been called to Aso Rock and probably, of course, is it email prayers? Yes. Email prayers to them, to their emails and all of that. Yes. And with that, they will now call it off. Yes. So that's what I'm talking about. Probably the selfish interest. Yes. And they always use Nigerians to achieve those purposes. Anyway, those things are, what our assumptions, so to speak, or the people's assumptions. Is a possibility. Because nobody is sure, nobody have already have said they caught them with so much money. But of course, if we check banks, we could always, okay, they don't keep their money in the bank, I mean. They don't keep their money in the bank. Okay, let's also take some views coming out from our own people who are on Zoom. Lord Kingsley, let me just get close to you guys on Zoom. I know you guys are in Diaspora. I also understand that you view Nigeria from that very level because you also contribute to the growth of the nation here. So please tell me, do you think that this very strike in the first instance should happen? And the second one is, if it should happen, do you really think that this strike is for the interest of the Nigerian workers?
Gentlemen and ladies and fellow Nigerians, thank you for the opportunity to actually speak on this topic again today. I personally believe that the way this strike has been organized now, I believe it will have a stronger effect compared to what they have done before. Because one, there has been this aura of preempting the government of what they actually want to do. It's not a case now where you have TUC saying one thing, you've got the other fraction saying something else, and I mean, one is striking, the other one is not striking. Now it's a united front that they are putting forward to the government, that yes, enough is enough. You've had a chance to do what you want to do. We've negotiated these issues, I mean, not the first time, not the second time, and this is like the third attempt, but then they have been playing games with the Nigerian economy, playing games with the Nigeria government workers, and now is the time that they have to actually do something. Okay, take for example, the labor union, they're actually demanding 494,000 naira per worker, which, I mean, if you want to ask me personally, I would say that's on the SS. That's on the SS, but it's still going to be negotiated. If they can come up with at least every worker earning at least 250,000, between 250,000, 280,000, because of the cost of living in Nigeria right now, I don't think that's a bad negotiation. But not for the government to be saying they want to offer 60,000 when even a bag of beans, I mean, a basket of tomato is even more than that 60,000 you're talking about. How will these guys pay their rent? How will they feed their families? How will they pay school fees? So, I mean, these are the things we need to think about. These are the things we need to think about. Every Nigerian there, I believe they all have a family. How do you want them to survive? But then you've got members of the Senate, you've got people in the National Assembly earning over $1 million. People that are deputy to the governor, or I mean to the president, earning over $1 million in a month. But then you want those that are actually doing the grassroots work to now earn 60,000, earn 70,000 or 80,000. I believe that's absolutely nonsense. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Okay, can I quickly interject? Can you remember the exchange rate between the dollar and the naira?
Well,
so if you put that together, you find that we're talking about $490 something per month.
No, that was even before all this started. Now, the real rates at which Nigerians earn their salary now is about $20 a month. $20 a month.
There you go.
$20 a month. Whereas in 2019, 2018, they were actually going on about 125, which was, I mean, just about fair enough. But now you cannot say $20 for a family of 6 that has medical, financial, educational, I mean, welfare to deal with, and you expect them to live well.
You know, let me come in a little. You know, the area I want us to look at is the impact. Labor going on strike is no longer news. What I'm talking about and what I want us to have a discussion is how successful have their strikes been?
Yeah,
most of their strikes.
Yeah, the sources of their
when they are into the strike, halfway they call it off, and then they won't achieve the purpose for which the strike is for. That is the area I want to get your input on.
To it, and now this is the third one. The success of it now depends on how they now stay resolute to their decisions. Yes, the Senate is going to call them. They are going to say one thing or the other, which of course I believe they're actually doing right now, going on negotiating tables to do whatever they want to discuss. But if they come back without anything that is on, I mean, not below 250,000, I believe they should kick them out. They should kick them out. And then let them go back and think about the decisions they've made before this time. Decisions that the Senate has come up with, that the budget they've passed before this time, they should go and think about all that, which of course they are actually doing right now. They are doing, because I heard the Labour, the TUC leader emphasizing on these points. Enough is enough. They are not going to back down anymore for that nonsense. And I believe what they are saying and what they want to do. That's my stance, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, thank you. Let's take from Kini all the way from Calabar, Cross River State. Willie, can you tell us how is it over there? Is it like an absolute shutdown in Calabar, or is there some skeletal work going on there?
Okay, thank you so much, Kanu, once again, and good day, viewers. Here in Cross River State, it is absolute total shutdown. Is very effective. Most of the offices are locked, and filling stations are all locked. You can't even get fuel anywhere. And most of the government offices are under lock and key. Some organized private sectors, like the flour mills, they are under lock and key. MPA under lock and key. I think so far it's highly effective, but I don't know for how long they are going to sustain that, because these labor people cannot be trusted. They have proven to Nigerians time and time again that they cannot be trusted when it comes to issue of workers' welfare bargaining with government. But let's hope that this time around, they will put away their personal interests and selfish motive and work for the interests of Nigerians. Because if you really look at this thing, labor are right in whatever they are doing. Government have not been very sincere in the way they are dealing with workers. For instance, this present government, while campaigning, promised Nigerians that if they are voted into power, they will give Nigerians a living wage. Now it is time to give
into power.
Well, anyhow they got into power, they are there. But the issue is, why are they reneging on their promise? Why have they not been able to at least live through their promises by giving Nigerians a living wage? This is the time to take that decision. Yes, please.
Mr. Willie,
I can hear you.
My question has to do with the actions of NLC and the inactions of NLC. I'm looking at it from the direction of NLC coming out, calling for this strike, being a good thing, you know, because it's like a pressure group trying to make the government do what they have to do. But I said over time that NLC usually call off the strike even when what they want to achieve has not been actualized. That is the discussion I want us to have, because I don't want us waking up tomorrow now and they have stopped. They will tell everybody to go and go back to work, and the federal government said they are going to sort it out. And I gave instance that it took them 48 hours within how many days to pass the old national anthem into law. But it's taking them months to deliberate on how much an average worker in Nigeria will eat. We get as a take home. We know how everything is very expensive in Nigeria currently. We know that you can't even buy fuel. If you want to fill your car, you are going to spend over 50,000 naira. That is somebody's salary, for crying out loud. So let's look at it from the perspective of whether NLC will do the needful.
My neck for NLC as we speak, because like I said earlier, time and time again, they have disappointed Nigerians. But I want Nigerians or Nigerian workers and the entire Nigerians, since they have taken a step forward, to take advantage of this movement and ensure that their demands are being met before NLC call off or suspend their strike, because they'll always tell you they are suspending the strike. That is my take. So I cannot stick out my neck to say this strike is going to be effective because of the past antecedent of NLC. Until we go 5 days, and then I can see if after 5 days and they are still sustaining the momentum, then I know that they are serious about it. But at the moment, I cannot stick out my neck for them.
Well, the Nigerians that I know, 5 days, I know that people will be already shouting about hunger. Yeah. So let me come back to studio here, and I'll quickly come to you, Otto. You know, the general thing that we all have been in Nigeria, the poverty happening everywhere, economic hardship, hunger, and all of this. Do you really sincerely believe that this is not the right time for Nigerians to join NLC and other labor unions to actually press home their demand that this very hunger and economic hardship must stop? This may be the right time, because when things like this happen, you look at the advantage and you look at the disadvantages. You see whether you take advantage of that very position to press home your need. Recall, few months ago, there were protests in Mina, Suleja, Abuja, Kaduna, and different other places on economic hardship. Yes. People were coming out in the street, hijacking trucks, laden with food items and all of that. Yes. But over time, they went back. Don't you think that is the right time to also use that very opportunity to press for those government interventions, all those promises that they say they are going to do? Why not use this opportunity and press for it so that you get, it's like, how do they call it, using two stones?
One stone.
One stone to kill two birds.
One stone to kill two birds.
Well, the momentum is there. The situation, the pressure, the hardship is alarming, and one can't, dismiss the possibility of such a thing happening.
But is it, am I the only person who is seeing the possibility, or who is seeing the opportunity that is there? Because if you have been shouting, or you are of hunger is killing you, all those market women that were shouting hunger is calling you, everything is expensive, all this and that. So why not use this opportunity that everywhere is down, you understand? Press home for your demand. If they say they have 42 metric tons of grains, let's see where those grains are.
Yes.
You understand? So they not be audio. If they say that they are going to transfer 5,000 naira to how many households, let's see it happening. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, you see, like I said, this time, like I said, the energy is there, the opportunity is there, the possibility is there. And yes, I can also tell you that it is quite overdue, as it were, because starting from the inception of this government, a lot of things is as if the government is intentionally trying to distract Nigerians. And it looks as though the government is succeeding. From the commission that was brought in, and they said that they adopted a commission, and then now we are changing the national anthem, and then nobody is even talking about the 2.something billion that was pushed into the Hajj pilgrimage. Nobody is even talking about that. Nobody is talking about the
90 billion.
90 billion, sorry, thank you. 90 billion that was, pushed into Hajj. So nobody is talking about this, and we're not even talking about the fact that Nigerians, we are living under the threat and fear that this government can, just do whatever they like and, oppress citizens of this country, as we are going to see in some certain cases. So, I mean, if such a thing happens, we have a right as citizens. We are not immigrants. We're actually citizens, and being a citizen means that you have certain rights, and of course covered by Chapter 25 of the Nigerian Constitution. So, I mean, we have a right to demand good governance. We have a right to demand good economic situation, good salary, good pay, good wages. All these things are within our rights. And I mean, if if we say that we're going to go for it now and then we start pushing for it, I mean, why not?
Okay, I think we've talked more on this, and of course we see how tomorrow goes. We'll also take reports coming from the Obidient Cooperative societies in different local government to see how their own sites also and how they are engaging other obedience to come together so that they can survive this very particular financial quagmire that is in Nigeria. So for now, until tomorrow, we'll come back to this very strike to know the day 2 of the strike to bring about the other thing that will be happening. But we do know that airport flights were disrupted, flight passengers were not able to carry their flights on time, and of course in some cases they have to go back. But then let's see how it goes on tomorrow. We also know that there's blackout in most places in Nigeria as of today, and of course people were flogged out of for people who even went to work, they were flogged out. And there's this very notion that the people who did not come to work are going to be put to go to prison and stuff like that. That is alien to our constitution and all of that. But let's come back to the second thing that we want to discuss, which has to do with Aisha Yesufu. The call for arrest of Aisha Yesufu. I always hate hearing something like this, that we're in a country where people cannot express their own opinion or their right and something. But let me come to you quickly on that, Divine. Let's not even go to we understand that the old national anthem is now the new new anthem that we need to sing and all of that. Now, does that mean that the old national anthem, that whoever sings the national anthem has committed an offense? That's one. Then the second thing, that the cause for arrest of Aisha Yesufu, is it because she's sad? Is there anywhere you know that that anybody who did not stand up to sing or refuses to sing the national anthem should be prosecuted or should be arrested?
Well, there's obviously no rule like that or any constitution as far as we know, right? We stand up to take the national anthem as a sign of honor to Nigeria and to, you know, our fatherland, basically. But I think the calls for arrest of Aisha Yesufu is just very funny and laughable, to be very honest, because she did not particularly do anything out of the ordinary, because a lot of Nigerians had reservations about this old national anthem that they were bringing back to be used, right? Because the fact that the old national anthem is actually it was rather, you know, made by a foreigner, and then they scrapped what is made by a Nigerian to actually have a foreigner's, you know, national anthem to be sung to us. I think it's very, very unpatriotic, because if not for anything, we should actually allow creativity thrive in our country. And the fact that we have pressing issues. So I think Aisha Yesufu refusing to stand up while they were singing this old national anthem that they brought and reinstated was just her way of showing that, you know, showing the rebellion among Nigerians. She was just basically speaking for every other Nigerian. So I don't think calling for arrest is anything that we should even be having conversations about. It is totally laughable, because she was just representing the anger that was, you know, being mirrored by Nigerians, because we have pressing issues in the country, and the fact that they saw all of the issues we face in the country and thought it was a good idea to bring back an old national anthem amidst all the hardship going on. So I think she was just speaking for Nigerians, using that her, you know, platform, and using her, you know, disobedience, or rather would I say rebellion, to just prove to them that, you know what, this is what the average Nigerian is actually feeling. And so I don't think there's anybody coming to particularly arrest her, and if there are plans to, I don't think it's very wise of them. I think
it has to do with the plans, and also Aisha Yesufu voiced that. Let's even take a listen to what Aisha Yesufu as she addressed an audience in a recent outing. Let's take a listen.
All in prison because we are afraid of dying. We become slaves in our country because we are afraid of dying. We accept obnoxious laws because we are afraid of dying. Yesterday I was at an event where they were singing that nonsense day, Hail Thee. And I said, the force. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. We all are citizens. We are citizens. We are not slaves. And the fact that they know that we will accept whatever it is they dish out to us is the reason why they dish out nonsense. Tinubu dared to put his hands in his pocket when they were singing the national anthem, when he was running and saying to Nigerians he wanted to be president. He wasn't voted for. He rigged his way into office and he dared to sing the national anthem that we have been using for over 46 years. A national anthem that was done, that was composed by a Nigerian, and he brings in the national anthem composed by a foreigner. How dare you? You are asking for my arrest? If there's anyone that needed to be arrested, it is Tinubu. During their campaign, when they were singing the national anthem, the Arise or campaign shows that we know he stood with a walking stick or whatever it was he was holding and held it over his head, and he wasn't arrested. And some people are sitting down and they're daring to call for my arrest. And they wait for them. We die here. I said we wait for them. We die here. There is no retreat. There is no surrender. This country is our own. It's as simple as that. I've been given 2 minutes. I will not go beyond 2 minutes. So at this
Guys, for those who are calling for Aisha Yesufu's arrest, let me be clear. The moment anybody from anywhere declares or sought to arrest Aisha Yesufu, you'll be invoking the anger of the Obedience. Because we look at things, as Obedience, we look at things from the right and wrong of it. I mean, Aisha Yesufu, if she's sitting down and not getting up to recite the national anthem, she has not done anything wrong. That's the way we see it. And of course, if you are a Baptist, you can see it differently. And again, if she's singing the old national anthem, we deem that to be a song that is no longer an anthem, but to her it's a song and a pledge to Nigeria. I mean, when she sings this, the way I watched her as she recites and then the pledge to Nigeria, I felt something move inside of me. Let's take a listen how she did that early this morning.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigerians call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve with heart and might one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Amen.
You know, this pledge part is it really very, you know, it touches the heart, you understand? And it's not happening on the reverted, the new national anthem. Right. Is it happening? It's not happening.
I don't even know the new national
you don't see that. You know, when you say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be
faithful, loyal, and honest.
To be loyal and honest.
Very good, very good. You know, it's kind of inspiration to even the younger ones to be honest, you know?
Right. You know this the national anthem, the old one, the Nigerian crafted national anthem. It embodies, in fact, you know, you may not be happy with whatever is going on in Nigeria, but the lyrics, the wordings of that anthem has a way of, you know, giving you hope that actually something can happen. Something good can, you know, come out of the rough situation that we are facing.
Do you really know that even before Chief Bola Tinubu comes to Aso Rock, he has already planned on how he's going to change this national anthem? He has already planned it.
Of course.
You don't know.
Wouldn't give him that credit of being that.
No, I mean, he had already plans. He said it's his priority. Production, I'm very much sure that we do have the video where he clearly stated on a national TV that if given the opportunity that he's going to remove the national and bring back the...
He has been shown pocketing his hands while the old national anthem was being sung.
Exactly. So what are we talking about?
Sticks. And there was one where during the last presidential campaign, where he went to Rivers State, and then he had his walking stick over his head during the recitation of the national anthem. So,
and there is one even where His Excellency P2B and him and I think Sowore are in an event, and he put his hands inside his pocket. Okay, that is what is on the screen. But you can see the other people who are very respectful of the anthem, so he disrespects the item. So what are they talking about?
And, you know, speaking of actually reverting back to the old way of things, I think it's really interesting because since we want to move back to the old way of doing things, how about he moves us back to our the exchange rate he got us in,
correct.
Yeah, he should take us back to he should take us back to when rice was 8,000 naira per bag, when fuel was like 200 naira, you know, just the good old days, since we're all reverting back to the old things.
Because I think I buy this your idea.
Yeah, let's all go back to
let's just go back to the old days, you understand? Since he came back, if you know all those things that were existing, let's get back to them, you know?
For the last time, he should probably take us back to Egypt. I mean, Egypt was not particularly in the perfect place, but with the way it's looking, he should take us back to Egypt.
And I think Buhari really mentioned this, that Nigerians will miss him. And I guess many Nigerians are missing him. So anyway, our time don't they give us signal, and you know, say if signal don't they come like this, wherever on a day, one, make on they pray for Aisha Yesufu, and make on know say we will take gidigbam. Anything we be say it go happen to Aisha, make on know say obedience go come out. No be just talk, we go come out. So make we no even go there. Obedience no get leaders, no mean say we no get the people where we say that they manage, they try to, you know, calm obedience down and all of that. So anyway, let's get update for the Obidient Family Cooperative Society. I know they have been giving hints that there are people who are engaging obedience in different local governments and all of that. And we have Mrs. Mary Okon from Yala local government of Cross River State, who said that in the last 2 weeks, she has been able to engage and mobilize over 2,500 obedience. Wow. 1 million Nigerians to be obedience and to join our cooperative society. And she's here to tell us how she actually traversed across the nooks and crannies of the Yala local government and all the political wars, making sure that even the escorts of these cooperatives are already set up. Mrs. Mary Okon, welcome to Obidient Family TV.
Good evening.
Yeah, so Mary Okon, please, I want you to tell us how you have gone and which wards you have been to how many people you are able to engage as Obedience in this Obedient Family Cooperative Society. Tell us, and we want to also show some of the videos and pictures that you so while you are talking, we'll try to display that for the sake of time.
All right, thank you, boss. Once again, thank you for the privilege given to me one more time. By the grace of God, I call it grace. Um, when I came in, this was 2 weeks now. I take it upon myself with all the board members of the local government, by the grace of God, and I have a discussion with them concerning the movement. So they all agreed, but most of them are busy. So anyone available, I will just speak along with myself to make sure I do the work as a leader. Number one, we have attended up to 5 wards now. And then this ward that we have reached out to, how we were able to get this number is that, you know, when you come to a ward, there are different communities, like 6 communities. The distance might be in hour time, 30 minutes time, 40 minutes time. And with the economics in this country now, it will, I think, majority of them will not afford the transport of coming to the center of the ward. So what I did was that those people that are close to the ward center, I asked them to assemble together while I now take the rest of the outreach to each of the community that made up the ward. If I am to, like, let's gather as a ward, for example, 10 from a community that is about an hour to the central, maybe 2 or 3 will have the transport. When I check the transportation, I say, okay, let me take it upon myself. Instead of me to get 3 members because of the transport, let me use the transport of those 3 members to mobilize myself to that place. And by the grace of God, that is what we have been doing. Because during the election, I assured them that in as much as our PO is there, by the grace of God, because I've stayed in Anambra 8 years all through his tenure, so I can tell more of him. So when I was telling them, they were all convinced and were happy to work for him, for the new Nigerian. And when the opposite was decided, I came back again, even despite there was nothing, but I made out my time. I came back, I think I spent about 1 month going back again word to word to appreciate their good works, to encourage them, and to tell them that there is still hope. And if there is any good thing that is coming from the top, by the grace of God, I will bring it down. So in this tour, I started reminding them of my promises then. And this is what the supporters, the Obidient family, those that love PO, as a then that was behind him, we agreed that this is what we are going to do to support the masses based on what is happening currently in this country. And they were all happy. With joy, they accepted the full membership card, and then their name was registered. So they believe so much. In some of the video there, like yesterday, it was so hectic. A lot of arguments. They're like, no, people have been coming, cooperative have been coming. I told them, no, this is obedience. And we are always obedient. We can't say what we will not do. So that's why we believe in you. We trust you. So we believe whatever thing you are saying is true. And we pray that those at the top should be, their voice should be like yours. And I say, yes, I'm speaking their voice, their mind.
Okay.
They sent me here.
Okay.
So
okay.
That is how we're able to get
Let me get, how many in Yala local government, like how many wards do you have in Yala local government?
Active wards now are 4. And it's from those 4 we have gotten, total ward we have is 16. But this 2,586 members that we have gotten is from these 4 wards that have toured around for now.
Okay, just you are able to tour only 4 wards.
Yes.
You are able to mobilize obedience to join the Obedient Family Cooperative Society, and for now you have about 2,000 something members that are just within 4 wards. And you
exactly, sir.
2,586.
Is there?
You said 2,586 members.
2,586 to be precise. That is a whole lot. Mary Okon, thank you very much. I think you need to be congratulated in bringing the Obidients together in Yala local government, and we're expecting that other people in different local government will do the same. As a matter of fact, I need to support what you are doing. Maybe later on, you send me your account. Let me send you some tea-fare that will assist you for other wards. And also, I don't know if your cooperative is already opened a bank account, because I advise that all should open corporate accounts where they can actually get support on the evangelism that they are doing. Maybe I will ask you to next time send in the bank details so that we can project it for you, because we believe that a lot of Obedients who are seeing the unification effort you are doing through your cooperative to support your ministry on what you are doing, because it's really outstanding. Out of 16 political wars, 4 wars down, 2,586 people. So you can imagine the number and the volume of people who are going to be in those logans. You can see that Obedients really want to be together, you know. So support is going to come to you for this logistic issue you have just mentioned. And on the next time that when you tell me you're about to come on, do bring the cooperative account details even beforehand, so that our production team can put it in order. As you speak and tell us what you do, we can project for whoever and our people in different places to at least support for the purposes of your what do you call it, you know, running around, because it's not easy. Logistics is not easy moving from one place to other, because I understand that there's one place that is very far, like hours away from the main place. So thank you very much, Mary Okon. Do you have something to add?
Yes, the account number, by the grace of God, tomorrow I won't be available, because there's a word already that I've booked for tomorrow's date. I will be going to that place you are just mentioning now, one of the villages in that place, that is going to take me 4 hours away from the main Yara local government. And the people that knows Ukele/Uge Igede, almost Benue, close to Benue, they should know what I'm talking about. And that is where I will be heading to tomorrow, by the grace of God, to make sure I tour all around the world before I will be coming. So tomorrow I will be busy. I may be absent in tomorrow's meeting. And then the bank account I'm supposed to receive, I supposed to receive tomorrow might be pending till next tomorrow, because I will be extremely busy tomorrow. Thank you.
Fantastic.
It's okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Mary Okon happens to be the president of the Obidient Family Cooperative Society, Yala local government of Cross River State. These are the things that we are expecting that other cooperatives in different local governments have. The idea is simply to bring together, to engage them, you understand, unify them. They look at the different businesses that they do and see the kind of support that will come, because sustaining this tempo that is hard now, the reason for the strike and the shutdown in Nigeria and all that, it needs to sustain at least feeding and other things. So people need to be in the same environment to do the business of mutual benefit and all of that. So thank you very much. And as you said, tomorrow again, she's moving out to another war that will take her 4 hours from her base. And of course, like we said, there are logistics. Whoever knows Mary Okon should hug her for us right there, because to tell you, whoever has that very capacity to bring obedience together, you understand me, and to talk to them now that they are afraid, you know, obedience are very
volatile.
Right now. So when we see people who can bring them together, go out, leave their space, go to that very space, talk to them, bring them together, and give them hope is really somebody we should acknowledge.
Encourage.
So let's see how it goes, Mary. Tomorrow, even if it is your personal accounts you send to me so that I can at least support your transport to where you are going to. And we hope to see you probably by next tomorrow to give us a report on where you go. Please do get videos and pictures so that people will believe on what you're saying. And that is Mary Okonda we are showing earlier on of where those things you were talking about happening. So it's not audio like we know of this administration and all that. Thank you so much, viewers. Our time don't they give us signal. And the signal where they give us, make we come out for studio. On behalf of the crew where they for studio with me, I go say it until tomorrow. Bye for now.
IBTC members reciting the national anthem. When the anthem began, Tinubu was seen holding up his walking stick to the confusion of many. Let's take a look.
Now the national anthem!
Concerning the, what is it called, the person that held up the, what's it called? See, Oji, at first I want to challenge you. Yes. This video is doctored.
Again, Rufai,
yes.
Okay.
And secondly, if it's not doctored though, it's swag. No.